Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Altitude Sickness Podcast. This is episode number 28. I am Tony, and today I'm being joined by Matthew and Drew. How are we all doing? It's All-Star Week. We're, I guess, over halfway through, technically, over halfway through the season, but, it's the halfway point. How we doing so far?
Doing good. Yeah, it was a decent week of baseball. Probably didn't turn out the way we were hoping, but I
Yeah.
still think it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have loved the Rockies to get to. I know they're at 39, but it would have been really nice to see them get a 4 on that first digit before the break.
For sure.
Considering they finished with 42 wins the entire season last year. I'm going to Coors in like 2.5 weeks, and it's going to be electric. It's going to be a battle of trash between them and the two out of the bottom 3 teams in the MLB facing each other. But I am going with 3 Royals fans, and I'm the only Rockies fan, so I will be cheering loudly. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Behind the first base dugout.
Oh yeah. That'd be nice.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like we were talking about with the series, 2 series that they had to play, they kind of ended the first half in a rough way, especially historically in 2 rough places that they had to play, both going to LA to the Dodgers and then going to San Francisco, where they never play well. And unfortunately, for one of those series, they proved that. But to start off with the Dodgers series, I mean, going into this, I was fully expecting still a sweep, even with how the Rockies, they've been playing a little bit better. They're a better team this year. It's still the Dodgers. I pretty much, especially in LA too, like we have been so bad. I think going into this series, they had lost 10 straight to the Dodgers in LA or something like that. And then really quick, like I'll talk about the first game. They ended up losing 11 straight before snagging one of the wins. But start off on that first game, Freeland really not good. In 5 innings, he allowed 6 earned runs. Pretty much like, for a while there, it was kind of one of those classic, just, all right, well, Dodgers are going to just blow us out of the water, and we'll kind of just coast through the rest of the game. Offense, did their own little thing. It was like they scratched out an early run, but then they got another home run. They got a solo home run from Tovar in like the 5th inning, and that made it like 6-2. And it was like, okay, well, it's still pretty, not likely that the Rockies pull anything out here. Nothing crazy, not expecting much. But then all of a sudden, I think it was the top of the 9th inning comes, where they're going into the top of the 9th. They were down 6-3, and they just rally off. They really battled in there against. It was Tanner Scott, who they went against, and it was just. Like Kyle Karros doing his thing, continued success with that. Cole Carrig had a big game, including an RBI double. And they came back and they tied the game in an electric way. And it was tied going into the top of the 10th. And then they scored the run. They only got only one run. But they did get it, but then unfortunately allowed the Dodgers to score in the bottom of the 10th. And then the Rockies were unable to score in the top of the 11th. And then, of course, Dalton Rushing, of everyone, had to knock in the winning run for the Dodgers. But again, like I think what can't be lost in this game, there's 2 things. First is that the offense continues to show that they have this knack of being able to score late in games. I think they've shown the stat now a few times. The Rockies broke the all-time record for most runs scored in the 8th and 9th inning before the All-Star break. It was like over 120. It was probably like 130-ish runs, somewhere around there.
think it was like 132 or something was the previous record, and they broke it already. They broke it.
Which is,
And I think they broke it the game that they won against the Giants.
yeah,
So
that makes sense. It's kind of crazy to think about because, like, I didn't really think about it that much, but like, especially recently, it does feel that when it comes to the seventh through the ninth inning, but specifically eighth and ninth inning, like the offense, they start playing super well. They start, like putting like stringing bats together, at bats together and stuff, which makes me question why are we not doing that earlier in the game. But it makes me think that they just are better against relievers. Like there's something about starters that they may not be able to do super well against, but then the relievers come in and they can punish relievers a little bit better. But the second thing I didn't want to get lost in this is was Cole Carrig. It was like a whole situation. Cole Carrig slid into home against and Dalton Rushing, the Dodgers catcher. Like Cole Carrig slid into home, and when he got up to go grab his helmet because his helmet flew off or something, Dalton Rushing went to go tag him just in case he missed home plate, which is a pretty typical thing, I think. And Cole Carrig kind of took, I don't know if he took like offense to it or like what it was, but Dalton Rushing then said something to him, and that sparked both of them to kind of get up in each other's faces because we know Carrig, he's kind of got like a little bit of that fire, and it really just made me honestly so mad that it ended up being Dalton Rushing to get the walk off because then he gets that last laugh in that. But again, like it is what it is. Uh, then that second game, Lorenzen actually had a pretty good day. 6 innings of 2 earned runs. Like he pitched pretty well against the Dodgers. And Rockies didn't really have any runs. It was another pretty slow. I think they went against Robleski this day. I think it was, and they looked awful. Like they struck out like 9 times. It was a really bad game, or whatever it was. Maybe that was a different game, but I know that their offense was not good. And then they go into the top of the eighth inning where they, get some small ball going with both Carrig and Freeman. Freeman was able to drive in Carrig, which led. It was a whole crazy play where Tyler Freeman it was like a throwing error or it was like a single down the line, and they tried to pick him off over and go throw him out at third, and it ended up being, thrown into the dugout, and he was able to score, and the Rockies ended up winning that game off of Romano coming in and closing the game, albeit making it a little scary, but he did ended up, he closed the game and got the win. So that was huge. It was a good win. If you could win against the Dodgers, any win's a good win. And then that third game, Gabe Hughes made his first MLB start. He went 6 innings and allowing 3 earned runs, which he allowed all 3 runs in the first inning. He pitched, I think it was like 39 pitches in the first inning. And then the next 5, he pitched a total of 55 pitches. So it was crazy how he just turned it on and he was just super efficient. At one point, I think he retired like 11 in a row or 12 in a row or something like that.
15.
It was 15 in a row?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's even better.
And he was
huh?
Lights out after that.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was, and I mean, he showed his ability to just like, I mean, he made Ohtani look silly on a few fastballs. Like he was so late on him, and it was awesome to see. And Kyle Karros continued his just torrid stretch. He was 2 for 4 with a double home run and an RBI. He's just been doing his thing. And unfortunately, this has now been more and more of a common occurrence. Senzatella unfortunately comes into the 8th inning and blows that lead. It was a tie game, and he gave up a late run, and the Rockies unfortunately could not score in that 9th inning and they ended up losing the game. But all the games were 1-run games, so they kept them all close. And what I think really did blow it for the Rockies in this series was some inconsistent offense at times, but really it was unfortunately the bullpen. And I say this meaning like the bullpen only allowed like 4 runs, and against the Dodgers, that's solid enough, but it's just like those little things that like you can't allow that, especially for the one that I'm really annoyed about is the extra innings loss, because and that one falls both on the offense and pitching. Honestly, it was, if you get your free runner on first, you have to score him every time. But then also the bullpen, they got to do their thing and not allow a run, and they unfortunately did. But I'm not really that mad about that series going into the Dodger Stadium and taking one of three. Like, I'm fine with that.
I'll say, wasn't game 3 that one where they had bases loaded, no outs, like twice, and they couldn't score?
The Rockies had bases loaded, no outs 2 times, yes, and were unable to score on both. And so that's, yeah. So the offense,
Tough.
it's rough because in one of those situations, it was Troy Johnston and then Tyler Freeman were up with no outs back to back with bases loaded. Two of our best contact hitters, and they both struck out. So absolutely brutal, honestly. But it is what it is. And then the second series, honestly, I kind of just want to get through. This was not a fun series to watch, honestly, because even the win was honestly just frustrating. But not on the Rockies' part. But we'll get into that in a sec. First game, kind of just skip through it. It was a classic blowout. Giants really just knocked around Feltner for 4 runs. Offense, other than a Willie Castro 2-run homer, was pretty much non-existent because they never ever hit at Oracle Park down in San Francisco. And then TJ Shook just was not good in the bullpen. That blew it open late, and then that game was over. The second game, Tanner Gordon actually, he must have heard us last week or 2 weeks ago because he had a pretty solid start. He went 5 innings, only allowing 1 run. Karros had a 3-hit night, including a very clutch 2 RBI single in the 9th inning that gave them the lead. They scored another run after that, and the Rockies ended up winning that game after Jordan Romano again made it very scary in the end. But part of that wasn't his fault, and we'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, Rockies win that game. A very close one. But the big thing with this game was there were 3 separate calls that really did feel like they were just like fully going against the Rockies here. So to start, and 2 of them involved Tyler Freeman. So the first one was Tyler Freeman made a sliding catch. It was called a no catch on the play. Like on the field, it was called a no catch. And like that's fine. Rockies challenged it, and it was like, okay. And then it was pretty clear that he caught the ball. And then they went to New York and they just said ruled no catch. And it was like, what? How? I know Corey Sullivan on the broadcast was like, I am in full confidence saying that this was an awful call. Like that was a bad call. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. So what?
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, like, there was you can maybe make the argument that maybe it was just too close to overturn, but it really wasn't.
I mean,
it does not. It very clearly does not even touch the grass.
Yeah,
and it just.
Mm-hmm. So that was the first one. Second one, a few innings later, Tyler Freeman's up to bat, and the pitch is inside, and he says that it hits his hand. This one was probably the most interesting because, or like the least, I think, controversial maybe, because like I don't think it hit him. It didn't look like it on the camera, but minimum, it was called a ball. On ball, whatever. They go and they review it, and then they charge it as a foul ball. So it went from just being, oh no, it's just a ball, whatever, didn't hit him. So then he gets a strike, and I think he ended up getting a hit.
Oh, he got a base hit.
He got a hit anyway. But it was like, what? How is that a foul ball? Like,
it was really weird.
I just if you said that it didn't hit his hand, then that can't be a foul ball. Because even if that was the rule, which I think if it hits your fingers, there's something with that where it could be a foul ball type of thing. But if it hit his hand, then that's a hit by pitch. Like, or that whole thing, but it's whatever. So that just was called a foul ball, which was dumb. And then probably the worst one by far was in the
Probably
top
one of the worst.
was in the
Worst
top of the
call.
ninth inning. It was runners, or the bottom of the ninth inning. There was runners on first and second with one out for the Giants. And there was a line drive, and that was hit to Cole Carrig, who slides, and from what looks like, in the play, it looks like he caught it. I thought he caught it. And he slid, and he thought he made the catch. The umpire does not signal anything. Doesn't signal no catch or a catch or anything. He doesn't signal anything. And so Cole Carrig's kind of like freaking out, like what's going on. He eventually throws it in, and then the infielders tag the runners and tag the bases just in case, because the ball is still technically live. The umpires then get together, and because the second base umpire did not make a call, they ruled it a base hit, and everyone was awarded to move up a base. Now, I was already unbelievably livid. If this would have ended up being that the Rockies lost this game, I would have probably, I am not kidding, found whatever business email there is for the MLB, and I would be emailing them, telling them to fire that entire umpiring crew, because that is absolutely insane. Like, and this is, again, I don't want this to just sound like, oh, biased, whatever. Like, it was honestly the worst. That was the worst call I've ever seen, or like worst thing I've ever seen officiating wise in an MLB game. I don't know how, as the second base umpire, you just are not making a call there. Like, if you don't know, you still need to make a call.
Yeah.
Like, because that's why we have review, is so you could review it and then overturn it if you need. Because
with that one specifically, we're not being hardos about it.
Yeah.
Like, in baseball umpiring 101, which I did, I never actually umpired a game, but through my high school, I was forced to do like training.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like rule number one, besides a runner, like tie goes to the runner is not a thing.
Yeah.
That's rule number one. Rule number two is that you always have to make a call.
Yeah.
And like, these are supposed to be the best of the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't feel bad for harping on them.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing if it's a bad ball or strike call. It's another if this dude literally just sat there and did nothing. Like, I could have done that. Can I get the game check for being an umpire?
Yeah.
And the fact that, let's say Carrick catches the ball. Okay, out. No runners advance.
Yeah.
Let's say it plays out how it should have. Cole Carrick didn't catch the ball. Gets it out at second, gets it out at first.
Yeah.
Inning's over. Well, he didn't even need to get 3 outs, but he needed to get 2 outs.
Mm-hmm.
And inning's over.
Yeah.
There's no scenario where even if Cole Carrick doesn't drop that ball, that they all advance a base.
Yeah.
Someone's getting out. Probably the runner at second, because that was the closest.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing, is that like if it was called correctly, the outcome of it should have either been 2 outs with runners on first and second, or the game is over. That is how it should have been called. But again, because the umpire just didn't make a call, it ended up doing that. Luckily, the Rockies ended up winning it. Luckily, Jordan Romano was able to get out of that game, or get out of that inning and keep the lead and win. But no, it would have been a very, very, probably the most infuriating loss. And it wasn't even because the Rockies played bad. Like, that would have been unbelievable. But it is what it is. Got to move on. And then, unfortunately, next game, Freeland was fine in the next start on Saturday. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, But the offense, sadly, this was the kind of the trend in this series. The offense, other than Kyle Karros, was just completely absent. He had an absolute bomb late in the game, but it really was too late for anything. Rockies offense just couldn't show anything. And then kind of the same thing on Sunday, sadly, a first inning in the park home run leadoff in the park home run by Jake McCarthy. So he's like the first player in over 100 years to have 2 in the park home runs in the same year. So like that's pretty cool.
No errors either on either of those.
Yeah,
no
no.
errors.
Yeah, it was like they're legitimate
True
in the
Little
park.
League home
Yep.
runs.
But unfortunately, that was the only run the Rockies scored all day. And it's too bad because Michael Lorenzen was actually pretty solid that day. He was very good. 5 innings of only 1 earned run. And then unfortunately, second time on the road trip, Senzatella blew the lead late, or he blew. It was a tie game. It was 1-1, but he blew the game in the 8th inning, and the Rockies ended up losing that game. So they lose 3. They lose that series. Lose 3 of the 4, which they just won the series against the Giants at Coors Field, and I truly do think that I don't know how, but they need to figure out a way, and I'm hoping that maybe they can find out, a different strategy of going about it. But there is clearly an issue for the Rockies going to San Francisco when it comes to adjusting to how pitches move and all that, because every single time the offense goes dead, and this has been an offense that has actually been pretty solid, and they were completely dead in this series, pretty much. They only had 1 home run that left the ballpark, so they just showed very, very little power here. And that's just how it goes, unfortunately. The bullpen was fine in this series. Starters were, middling for the most part. They were solid. They were either really good or really bad, essentially. But that's how the last 2 series of the first half shook out and ended up. So the Rockies ended the first half going 39-59, which compared to last year they were 22-74. So I would say that is most certainly a huge, huge increase, because that's 17 more wins that they got in this first half, which is just that's worlds better. That is worlds better of a team. And you got to think, this is with also, again, this is still with one of the with probably the worst pitching staff in baseball still. I believe that at least starter wise, they are pretty much 30th in almost everything. The bullpen's been fine, but like things have just not been good pitching wise, unfortunately. But it is what it is. The offense has been fun to watch, at least, so I'll give that. But if does anyone have anything else on that stuff on the series or record, anything?
I have some fun stuff for our next topic.
Yeah.
The beginning of it, so I'll let you get into that.
I don't have anything else for the series.
Okay, so we'll get into this next one. So this one, figure we would do this. I figure this is a pretty common thing that a lot of, podcasts do and stuff, but, I feel like for good reason. It's the halfway point. You got to do, before All-Star game, like awards and attributes, all that stuff for the team. And so we all have, I think, our own thing. They might be kind of similar, obviously, because we're doing the same team here. So we're first up, we could do, if you want to do MVP first, we could do MVP. Pretty much we're doing MVP, Cy Young, most surprising, most disappointing, and then who we're looking forward to watching the most in the second half. Do we want to start positive? Do we want to start maybe negative? We can start negative really quick, because I think we're probably all gonna have the same guy here. So for most disappointing, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I have Ezekiel Tovar, and I don't really think it's close. I mean, we've talked about it so many times. You have seen how many times he's been in the who's not portion of who's hot and who's not this year. He currently has, what does he have right now? It's something bad. I just was looking at it. It was like a 5 something.
Are you looking at what? Average or?
OPS.
Oh, go on. Sorry, what were you saying?
He has a 574 OPS currently. OPS plus of 49. So he is currently 51% worse than the league average hitter. He's at the Mendoza line right now. Pretty much everything about it. And what stinks is that I think his defense has even taken a little bit of a hit. I'm checking really quick on Baseball Savant. His defense, I mean, it's slightly above average, but he's a Gold Glove winner. He should be more than slightly above average, especially if this is the offense that he's providing. He better be above this, but he's just currently not. That's who I have for most disappointing. Do you guys have anyone separate or different?
Nope. He takes Lorenzen had it for a long time, but I think Tovar takes the cake here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has the lowest WAR of everyone as well. But yeah, it's definitely Tovar.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is true.
Which is really unfortunate because he's under contract for what did we say, another 6 years?
I don't remember exactly what it is.
I thought it was 2032 or 2033 sounds right.
I want this to just hopefully just be a down year for him.
Actually, we have him currently signed through 2030 with a club option in 2031.
Okay, that makes me much happier because we'll talk about it in a little bit. But the Rockies clearly made a point.
Yeah,
to get Tovar
his seat is
to at least let him know.
Warm. Yeah,
let him know that your spot's not safe, even though you signed a long contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that he could. I don't know. I think he needs to just work on
stop swinging
like
his low and outside sliders.
Right now, I think he's clearly just too comfortable.
Yeah, I think his biggest problem, I believe, is, yeah, I mean, and I think it's pretty clear because I think we've seen other players on this team, I think, work so much with coaches to get better, i.e. someone we'll probably talk about a little bit later, is Kyle Karros. Like, he started the year, last year, he was really bad because he clearly was not ready offensively to be in the major league. He was kind of just pushed up here. But I think in the beginning of the year too, he was struggling a lot, but he's really found a groove working with the hitting coaches and getting his groove. And I think Tovar, unfortunately, and I think we saw this a little bit with, I do not want a dead name.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
We know who it is. We know who it is. Michael Tolia. He had an issue last year of not taking well to coaching advice. He knew who he was and he wanted to stay who he was. And I fear that that's what Tovar is doing. Tovar is a free swinging, aggressive hitter. And clearly teams are exploiting that to heck and back. And he is just not adjusting in the slightest. And it's really, really frustrating to watch. I cannot lie. I don't really know what he expects to happen at this point because
on a game-to-game basis, you can see it. You can see it all play out.
Mm-hmm.
First at bat, they'll throw a low and outside slider, literally 2 feet. Like the pitch starts a ball.
Mm-hmm.
He swings and he inevitably gets out. The next at bat, I bet you the hitting coach is in his ear. Take the first pitch, and then they throw a fastball down the middle, and he just sits there and looks at it.
Yeah,
and it's just a cycle that goes on every series with him. And there's someone else who's dealing with that too, but he's hit 27 bombs, so I don't really care.
See, yeah, that
makes up for it. He's making up for it. So
yes, but Tovar is not making up for it in any fashion. Like he is down from even last year when his year wasn't great. Like 2023 was easily his best season.
2024 was his best year. It was 2024.
Yes, sorry. 24.
Yeah.
24 was his best season by far in every category. Slightly went down in 25, and now it has.
A lot of that had to do with injury. That's why I gave him a pass last year, was because he was dealing with his back and he was dealing with a few other things. But this year, you don't got that anymore.
There are no excuses anymore.
No,
especially with others performing well in this system. Especially the newcomers and even Karros, who's been in the system, and like Carrick, who's been in the system. Like, there's no excuses anymore of the coaching.
Yeah, I agree. So I think, yeah, it has to be Tovar. unfortunately for most disappointing.
Agreed.
So we'll do just like piggyback off that. We'll do most surprising really quick. Who do you guys have? Matthew? Who do you have? We'll start with you.
Jake McCarthy.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think I was not expecting because his last few years have not been that good. And I fully expected him to be a bench bat. That's kind of what I was expecting. And I honestly think that's kind of what we all were because, I mean, noting we did not take him in the home run draft. Granted, he's not a home run hitter, but I think that was part of it too, was that we were not expecting this dude to have a full-time role in any way. And
he would have almost as much as my entire team.
And here he is, arguably right now, a top 3, if not top 2 trade chip that the Rockies have right now.
Yeah.
He's probably one of our best hitters currently.
Yes.
Especially because teams focus a lot on what's happened in the last, recency bias is huge with MLB organizations. So
yeah,
Jake had it laid out perfect. For the first 3 weeks of the season, he was awful.
Yeah.
And then after that, he was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And it's not just his hitting, it's his base running. His defense is okay. He has a noodle arm, but at least like his defense is serviceable. I'll say that. But he's an absolute demon on the base paths. Yes. He has 2 inside the park home runs with no errors.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting about him, he has 15 stolen bases.
Mm-hmm.
You would think he would have more, right?
Yes. That was something I wanted to talk about tonight. Is as the Rockies have won more and the hitting has gotten better, let's think about the first month of the season and how less aggressive on the base paths they've been.
Yeah.
They hardly steal anymore. Like at the beginning of the season, we'd see them attempt at least like 2 or 3 stolen bases a game amongst the team. But now it's just like, well, you got TJ coming up to bat, or you got Troy Johnston. Like, there's no need to be that aggressive because of those guys' average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially with someone fast on first base, they can get to third on a single.
Plus, how many times has Jake McCarthy specifically gone up and hit a single that would have been a single for everybody and legged out a double? It's happened at least 3 or 4 times.
That's the difference here is that he has I don't know exactly what they call. There's so many different weird stat names. It's like extra base taken type thing. Like that is a stat that is used. I'm trying to find it. There's so many things, dude.
I didn't realize that. I mean, that's a good.
Yeah. So extra bases taken percentage. This year he is at 63%. Where the MLB average is 41. He's doing it, 1.5 more times than the MLB average, which makes total sense. And that's in line that's in line with his career better years. Like last year was only at 21%. So he is taking full advantage, honestly, of playing somewhere that you absolutely need to be taking advantage of things like that, such as at Coors Field.
Smart.
And something that I've also, I don't know for sure. I haven't looked at the game logs and everything to see, what was happening, why we've stopped stealing and stuff. Looking at this, the Rockies have, of course they have this, they have 67 stolen bases on the year. And they have 23 caught stealing. Or 29 caught stealing. So
Not a good rate.
I'm trying to see, what is that?
Yeah, that is a rough rate. That is
doesn't seem
a little
like
less than 50%.
No, it's not. 67 plus 29. Okay, hold on.
So it's you guys are both math guys.
Well, I'm trying to say, it's 60, of course. It's 69%. So oh my god, what a joke.
Tony, what year were you born in?
2001.
Oh, awesome. Because you want to know a fun fact about me? This is completely unrelated to baseball.
Okay.
In 2069, I will turn 67 years old.
Oh, won't you be very happy that day?
I already told Hannah about it. I was like, yep. Just wait.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know what the MLB average is with that either. But yeah, I'm assuming it was honestly just maybe they went on a streak of they get caught too much and now they just don't want to, or maybe because like I don't know, honestly. It is really weird to think about how I remember at the beginning of the year they were like super aggressive on the base paths and they just kind of stopped completely. It really feels like it. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. Um,
Can I touch on who I thought was the most surprising?
yeah.
There are a lot of players that have surprised me this year, but Cole Carrick takes the cake
Mm.
for me. And the reason why is because his defense is way better than I thought it was.
Mm.
Like, who would have thought that someone could really replace Doyle like that? Now, I'm not saying at Doyle's peak, does Carrick meet that yet? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the arm is better. The bat is way better. And this is a Rockies outfielder that comes up to the big leagues for the first time and doesn't suck. Like this podcast would last 2 hours if we started listing the amount of outfielders that the Rockies have brought up for the first time that have been awful.
Mm.
This is a guy that honestly kind of was not on our radar at the beginning of the season of someone who was going to come up and play well. Like we may have brought him up once preseason in all of the podcasts we did before the season started, but
I mean,
I think he's a shock.
But my thing was just I was expecting I expected a little bit of a bounce back from Brenton Doyle. And then I also expected Zach Veen to be the next outfielder that gets called up. I wasn't really expecting Cole Carrick.
Yeah. And when it happened, honestly, I was not super happy about it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, you have Condon and Veen who are both doing amazing in AAA. Why are we calling this guy out? And classic me take, I am dead wrong.
Yeah.
And this guy, I mean, center field's covered. Brenton Doyle is shaking in his boots.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've said many times on this podcast, the Rockies were doing subtle foreshadowing of him putting chocolate on the chocolate covered strawberries. Because at the end of this year, that is what he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
At least as the Rockies are concerned.
Unfortunately, he really is. His time is now fully limited because it's just Carrick has taken center field. I agree with that. I would say that that's it is pretty surprising. Yeah. All right. Okay, and then let's do Cy Young, which it's super hard because
I also have a different one than all of you listed.
This team is not great pitching wise. It's kind of hard to put Sagano or Ryan Feltner as your Cy Young, as both of them sit with an ERA above 4.5. I think that right now that's just our Rockies brain. I remember a little off topic here. I was watching a show or whatever some baseball content, and some person said that person has like a 3.6 ERA. And they were like, yeah, that's not that good. And I'm like, dude, I would kill for a Rockies pitcher to end the season with a 3.6 ERA, especially a starter. Mm-hmm. Like that, it is just so crazy the like difference between pitching in different places, like the difference in what you view as good. It's so funny, but that's beside the point. With that being said, I think for me, the two pitchers that it comes down to are Antonio Senzatella and Brennan Bernardino. This is a very sad fact. Brennan Bernardino now has a lower ERA than Antonio Senzatella. Think about that. Think about how good Senzatella was at the beginning of this year, how unbelievably dominant he was, and how he now does not have that. Senzatella has a 3.31 ERA, and Bernardino has a 2.97. Another dude that, both those dudes, honestly, they better be traded. But, so, honestly, I think I'm going to put this, I'm still going to give the Cy Young, I think, to Antonio Senzatella. He has a slightly higher ERA, but he does have a few more innings pitched. And he honestly could also be thrown in the most surprising is Antonio Senzatella for sure. But I would put both of them. But I think Senzatella is my Cy Young. That's who I would put it as. Matthew, do you agree? Or
I just put Sagano, but
okay.
I don't know.
Which I mean that's fair. Like he has been solid.
I wanted to put Senza, but I think that he is just really choosing a bad time to start playing not good.
Yeah, in his last like month and a half of baseball, he has like over an 8 ERA easily. So
yeah, he has been really bad. So, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like Sagan, like realistically, I would have put nobody because I don't think any of our pitchers are actually really playing. Like we are like one of the worst pitching staffs in the league right now. So
yeah, and I think that is totally fair.
I guess Sagano and maybe Senza.
Yeah,
I went a different route with this one.
Yeah,
because this guy has yet to do me wrong. Give me Jordan Romano.
Oh God,
That's a long ball take. However, the Rockies have quite literally thrown him to the wolves. Yeah, and he's come out of it.
Yeah,
every time. And I know he has less appearances than the others, but I mean, he has not proved me wrong yet. He's gotten a little spooky, but guess what? You play on the Rockies, about every reliever outing is going to be spooky one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a long ball. Do I actually believe that? Probably not. But considering no one is really deserving of that title,
yeah,
I'm gonna go with him.
I think that's fair.
Let's think about all the quote unquote closers the Rockies have put in this year. Out of all of them, give me Romano 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
It may not be great, but guess what? He will not throw ball 102 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So that's
fine. That's true.
Yeah. But all right, and then we'll finish this up, or I guess we have another one after this. But MVP. So it's kind of hard because it's like there's an obvious.
There's pick. A lot of them.
There's a big obvious one. I think.
No,
there's a heavy favorite. I'll give him that. There's a heavy favorite for it.
Yeah, but I think that's a good way to put
it. To me, I've listed 5 dudes that it could be. None of them pitchers, because why would it be? And it's Hunter Goodman, TJ Rumfield, Kyle Karros, Mickey Moniak, and Jake McCarthy is who I have as first half MVP players, if you want to call it that. Now looking at like what they've done, I'm trying to think how to go about. So, unfortunately, I think Mickey Moniak has to be taken out of this because he has been hurt. Like he has not played enough anymore. Like, yes, he still has a 900 OPS, and he's still insane. He has the highest OPS plus on the team, but he has also played 30 less games, 20 to 30 less games than anyone else on this team because he was out for about a month. So I do not think Moniak can seriously be considered for this. As much as I love, as much as Matthew loves Kyle Karros, I do not think he can really be a legit contender in this because he has not been the best all year, and he doesn't quite fully have the power swing. He hasn't had it all year type of thing. So I would put that there. I do not think it's him. In that same boat, I don't. It's so hard because like these 3 guys, the next 3, McCarthy, Rumfield, and Goodman, all have very, very similar statistics. Hunter Goodman is a, home as close to a home run or bust guy as we have. McCarthy is all around, can get he legs out the double, he legs out the triple, and that's where he gets his slugging from. And then TJ Rumfield is just an on-base machine that has proven that he has a little bit of pop as well. And for that, honestly, I think because he also gives better defense than the other two, I am personally going to give it to TJ Rumfield, I think.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy that we all actually came. That's insane.
Dude, he has the second most defensive runs saved out of first baseman.
He's
a rookie. Yeah. There's a reason why there's no tweets or anything about teams being interested in TJ Rumfield.
Yeah.
Because there is no chance they will get him. We started the Goodman trade. Things have started to kind of rumble in our heads a little bit. Like they've been out on Twitter, which at pre last month was like, okay, no, they're not going to trade him. And now they're starting to they're not doing that about Rumfield because there's no shot.
Yeah.
I'm also just a little tangent here. Jack Caglianone. Oh, yay! He has 6 home runs and 15 swings. What a great guy for the home run derby.
Better than Jazz Chisholm.
He's starting to heat up a little bit, but in his first 10 swings, he had 2.
Those are Jazz Chisholm numbers, as Matthew said.
Thank you for not including Hunter Goodman because this guy had the farthest home run 3 years ago with a metal bat. Woo! Yet he still has not hit one farther than Hunter Goodman this year, and Hunter Goodman was not at Coors, so
yeah.
I'm angry. Hold on, he has one more swing. I'm sorry, this is a long episode. Okay, he's at 8. Awesome. Even if he gets to 9, he's gonna be out in the next round. So congrats for the donation, the charity case, the NBA All-Star Weekend that this has turned into. I'm done.
TJ, I mean, you can take it with a grain of salt, but I would say that TJ has pretty much been our best defender. He has been probably the most consistent. I mean, you could give it to Cole Carrick, you could give it to Kyle Karros. Obviously, third base is a lot harder than first base. But, I mean, TJ has just been a very consistent first baseman, especially with the other people who have played first base, i.e. Troy Johnston, who has been an example of an actual bad first baseman who can't pick balls. But, and just TJ has just been consistent all year.
Yeah.
And he's been getting on base consistently, and I just... Like, obviously, Hunter has been good, but also behind the plate, he definitely struggles.
Yes.
And
I
strikes
agree.
out a lot.
Yeah. So
I think he has the highest strikeout rate of everybody. Oh, except for...
Tovar.
I wouldn't count. Yeah, I would say it's pretty much the highest. And Tovar, it's actually not that bad compared to most people.
See, that's not good, because I wish it was that... But
yeah, Tovar's is 25. Goodman's is 32.
Yeah, see,
32%. But he makes up for it by hitting 27 home runs.
Exactly. So the big thing, you would talk about TJ Rumfield's defense. I'm looking right now, defensive runs saved leaderboard. He has 6 total runs saved, which is the second best. Is funny enough is Jordan Beck and Chad Stevens have 2 defensive runs saved, technically. Michael Lorenzen and Zach Agnos also have 2 defensive runs saved. And then Cole Carrick has 2, but he has not played that much. But that's the thing, is that yes, like TJ Rumfield has been the best defender on the team, even at first, which is usually a not super big defensive place. But in terms of just what TJ Rumfield's been able to do offensively, and it's just simply by walking at an above average clip, not striking out. He has a 13.8 strikeout percentage, which is in the 87th percentile. Now, again, we've talked about the one thing that TJ Rumfield is not good at is being fleet of foot. He is quite a slow player. He's quite a slow guy, and that's just how it goes. But we're not asking him to steal bases. We're just asking him to get on base and do his thing, and that's just what he's been doing. I think it's fair to say Hunter Goodman is a close second in this race, but I do think it is. I think it is fair to say that TJ Rumfield is our MVP for the first half of the season because he has just frankly been honestly a joy to watch. I'm so happy that he's doing as well as he is. He's got the 12 home runs and he has 20 doubles as well, which currently is second on the team, only behind Troy Johnston. And he has 12 home runs, which is second on the team or third on the team behind, Goodman and then Moniak. So, yeah, I do believe that it is TJ Rumfield. So, good on us for all coming to that conclusion. And then real quick
Just
one.
excited.
Yeah, who are you looking forward to watching most in the second half? Matthew, I think it's kind of obvious who you're probably gonna say.
Kyle Karras.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and not even for the meme, but literally because he's actually finally figuring it out, but figuring it out batting wise, and that is really, really exciting because that was definitely a worry. I knew he was going to be a good defender. That's why I liked him to begin with, was because I knew he was always going to be a solid defender. And is he the greatest? No, he definitely is not Nolan Arenado, but he's still good.
He's above
he's still solid. And the fact that he's finally figuring out the bat makes me really happy because that was, and like he's clearly showing that he has power.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come out much, but when it does, it really shows. I mean, he has the farthest home run of anybody on the team. Granted, it was at Coors, but it was a monster hit.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I'm very excited to continue watching him this year. So,
yeah, I agree. I would say I'm excited to watch Karros. I'm excited to watch Rumfield. I want Goodman to hit 40. I really want Goodman to hit 40.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I need. That would just be so cool to see. And I'm trying I don't know, those are my three, honestly. Like I hate saying that I want Tovar to get better, but I hate watching him right now. Because it is so hard to watch him play. Because it looks like he's just not having fun. It looks like he's, like we said, it's in his head and he's just struggling so much, and I don't like watching that. But
I think Tovar is cruising, and I think that he is just not actively trying to get better.
Yeah, which I don't
think that he's just playing the way he thinks is best, and I think he's treating it like a job. Whereas other guys like Karros is clearly not.
Yeah,
and Tovar has been here. This is his third or fourth season. So I can understand. I can understand that he would get to that point, but he's got to start having fun with it. He's got to find that passion back, because that's the only way that he's going to continue to be good.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about Tovar. I know this wasn't about Tovar, but
yeah.
I wanted to say that before we.
I agree. Drew,
sorry, I haven't listened to anything in the last 10 minutes. I've been in about 4 different text group arguments.
Yeah, but most excited.
Yeah,
Drew,
who are you looking forward to watching in the second half?
Excited for the second half.
Gabriel Hughes.
Good.
That's a good
one. Totally forgot about
it. It's a. I mean, outside of that first inning, which I didn't touch on this earlier, but you could tell that first inning he was just nervous.
No, yeah,
he could not find the strike zone at all.
You're making your major league debut of a start in Dodger Stadium, where you have to go against Shohei Ohtani, and then followed behind 3 more Hall of Famers. By the way,
I mean. After that first inning, you could tell he was not comfortable. But, dude, his slider, I love his slider.
Oh, yeah.
And I know sliders don't move as much in Coors, whatever.
Yeah.
Probably about it. However, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I loved him. And you look at his numbers at the end of the game, you're like, holy crap, he threw a ton of strikes.
Yeah. Like
And he threw a ton of balls in the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
So that just further proves how many strikes he threw after the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost a 50-50 split in the first inning, I think.
Yeah.
And this is a hot topic in Rockies world, but it's signing free agent pitchers, developing is impossible for pitchers in Rockies world. So Gabriel Hughes being able to come in there and at least put together a quality start, I'll take that any day of the week. I can't wait for him to start again.
Yeah.
I think they're at home this next series, so we should see Gabriel Hughes again.
Yeah, probably.
But we'll see him at home this time against the Reds, who are not a great team, but they are a great offensive team.
Yeah,
so
they're
we'll
better
see
offensive
how that
team,
goes.
So I'm excited because I have a soft spot for Gabe Hughes because he was the first draft that I really paid attention to. After high school, getting it into college, that was the first draft I watched and was really into. Was when we drafted Gabriel Hughes, and so I'm really excited, and I really hope that he can continue success because he's got also a really good fastball that has a lot of late movement that I really like watching. But all right. Well, we're at 56 minutes, so I'm gonna.
I think. Do we just want to cut it here?
I do want to really quickly talk about the draft because I feel like the draft just happened.
We can be quick.
We're not gonna go super in depth with anything. I'll probably link. So I had a link to go over maybe a little bit, but we went long, which is fine, not a big deal. Just really quick, Rockies in the amateur draft this last weekend. How many people did they draft? It's 12, 14, 15, 16, 21. They drafted 21 players, 12 of which were pitchers. So a little less than half, but that's good. A lot of them being college arms. So they want them to move up through the minor league system pretty quick. They also drafted 2 catchers and I didn't even talk about their first pick, who was a shortstop, the Kentucky shortstop, Tyler, dude, I keep forgetting his name. Tyler Bell, who looks really good. He's a switch hitting shortstop, which is super cool. That's just a cool thing. I'm really excited. They also drafted a first baseman, and they drafted 5 outfielders, but all of them were round 14 and later or something like that.
Yeah.
So some of them won't even sign, probably. Some of them might just go back to school. But the catcher that they drafted, I forgot his name, Daniel Jackson, was the Golden Spikes winner. Absolutely awesome. He's from Georgia. A lot of their players look really good. A lot of the pitchers look pretty solid. I'm just excited to. I'm gonna read that article. It's by Blake Street Banner, and I'll probably link it. I'll just link it in our description below. Because they do a good job of the draft coverage. They do a very good job of it. Really quick, Matthew, do you want to go over the home run draft? Do you have that up?
Really quick, yeah. Third place is Drew. I think Willie added another one, so he's at 9 now. Second is me with 27. I guess Tovar added one, so and first place, close race, is Anthony with 48. So
you have 39 more home runs than my team.
Oh man, that's fun.
Happens.
He has 21 more than me, so it was at 20 last week. So every time I get one, Karros and Goodman hit one.
Yeah.
So
this was my idea, and I regret it wholeheartedly.
That's funny.
You swung for the fences.
Yeah,
that I did, and so did Jordan Beck, and he's in Albuquerque.
No, he swings for the fences, but he never hits anything. But anyway, that's what I wanted to go over. This is probably going to be the longest episode we've ever had, or one of the longest ones. But I think it was a good episode overall. Good stuff. I believe we should be back next week. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter one, probably, because we'll only have one series to talk about, and then Hunter Goodman, how he does in the All-Star game, hopefully better than last year. But Does anyone have anything else for the good of the order?
Nope.
I have a couple things. So,
Okay.
draft, amazing. They drafted exactly how, at least in my mind, I wanted them to do. They
Mhm.
went best available. Even that catcher you mentioned, Jackson,
Mhm.
he was a guy that slid down the draft board that they didn't think they were going to get, and they
Mhm.
got him.
They went best player available type thing.
Yes, they did that for the first few rounds. Then after that, they just went pitcher, 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 pitcher.
Literally.
So that is all I wanted them to do.
Mhm.
So we'll see, because this is the first draft of the regime. We are seeing a little bit of Bill Schmidt pan out with Carrig and Karros.
Mhm.
But I'm excited to see what this front office is really doing, and I do think it is a big difference from what the past one was.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Hunter Goodman should have been in the home run derby as Jack Caglianone, only hit 8. And those are my final thoughts, and I would put literally my life savings on Hunter Goodman getting more than 8.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Also, went to a Rush concert. Very happy. Cool stuff. Matthew and I went. It was awesome. Cool. Random
Dream
thing.
come true.
A literal dream come true. So good job, us. But anyway, just wanted to throw that in there. But as always, go Rockies. Happy All-Star Week, and we will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.